Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at 102,700 US dollar. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solana. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to start trading, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange Bitunix. I currently have a cooperation with them and a campaign. So basically if you deposit some money, then you get a futures bonus, and with that futures bonus you can open some trades and try the crypto exchange Bitunix. Also in the video description you will find the link to it, where you get an additional 20% discount on their takeoff fees, and also you will also find a link to mexc. So if you like to trade on mexc, there's also a link where you get an additional 20% discount on their takeoff fees. So let's get to Bitcoin. So we have said about Bitcoin, if the 104,900 US dollar breaks to the downside, and we got several times the sign of weakness in this market stage, then we should drop to 103,500 US dollar. I don't know what this push actually was, because on the 50 minutes time frame we had a fair value gap right here. It was a very small one in the same size of this one, and we went for that fair value gap. This was unexpected, but we had the signs of bearish breakouts. We have seen it with all the altcoins. Bitcoin got also pushed to the downside. So what do I think? You already see it here, the circle. This was a huge fair value gap. We closed it with this push to the downside, most likely. So let me first take this one out. So what I don't like is, and that's why Bitcoin is not tradable for me at the moment, and I want to have my focus on the altcoins, because fair value gap number 2, let's not count this one, but here fair value gap number 3, and here fair value gap number 4. Also we broke the 103,500 US dollar to the downside on the 50 minutes time frame, and we got a retest and a follow through. So basically, it's not even, we don't have to drop to 102,000 US dollar now, because we have those fair value gaps and they can get filled. And then we have to see if Bitcoin is not just going to be too bullish and breaks to the upside. So if we go into the 1 hour chart, okay, that chart pattern got messed up a bit. I've looked into the chart and this was a double bottom pattern, but since we are breaking to the downside, we still can get a bullish chart pattern. Which can it be? And bigger head and shoulders formatation. Something like this, and afterwards if we break to the upside, we can be bullish. So for now, yesterday we have done the video and AVAX went into the take profit, HBAR went into the take profit, all the coins went into their take profit area, some kind. ONDO didn't went into our take profit when we did the video, but afterwards also here take profit was set, and we are breaking far more to the downside. I think that down move slowly gets to an end. The coins are too bearish at the moment. They sold off. We already see for Bitcoin a huge fair value gap. Even on the 1 hour chart, it goes up to 104,336 US dollar, and on the 50 minutes chart, even up to 105,650 US dollar. So the question is this just going to be a push to the upside where we fill the fair value gap and afterwards sell off into the next one, which is at 100,000 US dollar in this area here, down below? Then we would also fulfill the target of the head and shoulders formatation, which we got here. And I think afterwards we might even see one less push into the all-time high, because we still have the target ongoing, 114,300 US dollar for Bitcoin for the bullish pennant. And also if we go into the weekly time frame, then you can also see it. This big cup and handle formatation, which also broke to the upside, target 125,000 US dollar for Bitcoin. So I still expect a bit more of a pullback, even though we can still push to the upside, but I still expect a pullback, maybe even down to 100,000 US dollar. It's not clear to me if this was our low and if now we can push to the upside. If I don't know it, because I don't see any kind of chart patterns, then I'm just taking my fingers away from trading, and I will look to coins which I can analyze far more better and predict also far more better. So what about Ethereum? I think for Ethereum we have done a good job. We have said if the 2,590 US dollar breaks to the downside, then we should go into the circle down to 2,550 US dollar. Here we go. We went there. The target of the head and shoulders formatation, like before we had a double top pattern, and now this is in head and shoulders formatation. Broke to the downside, target of the length of one shoulder is the 2,530 US dollar. Also put you here the price mark. And then we have to see. So I think it's currently a make it or break it point. So if the 2,550 US dollar also breaks to the downside, then I think we can even get prices down to 2,475 US dollar. But if we break the 2,592 US dollar again to the upside, then I can even think getting Ethereum up to 2,700 US dollar, where we have a major resistance over us. So with that said, I don't have anything more. It's still the same like before. We still have the targets to the downside, down to 2,325 US dollar. But once we break the 2,700 US dollar to the upside, we should invalidate the bearish targets and should look for higher prices. So what about Ethereum? XRP. We were hoping that this is a bull flag. And we broke it to the downside, we retested it even. So this bull flag got invalidated. I can delete it from the chart. We had also here the target of the head from this head and shoulders formatation. The thing is, that's why I don't like taking the length of the head. It never gets hit. Yeah, like not never, but most likely it's not getting hit. In most cases, we just work off the length of one shoulder, put it to the breakout point, and you can already see we perfectly went into the target. So I can take this one out as well. What I don't like at the moment is that we already broke an head and shoulders formatation to the downside, which we have built up today. The length of one shoulder, target $2.14. The target of the head, $2.08. So I think we have to take something in the middle, and that's the support at $2.13. This was our target. Anyway, if we break the $2.20 to the downside, then we should drop to $2.13 anyway. But now we have the confirmation of that head and shoulders formatation, which direct us into this whole area. So basically looking for the $2.13 would get very interesting. So since we have a fair value gap over us, which reaches prices up to $2.19, I will also put you here the price mark. I think that we have a good chance getting another retest at $2.18, and from here sell off if we don't sell off now. So here's the price tag, $2.18.4. So basically breaking this price mark to the upside is not going to be sustainable in my opinion, because we still have the fair value gap here. We need a push over $2.20 to be bullish again for XRP, and then we can get some positive momentum. That's why we make this trend line green. So if the $2.13 breaks to the downside, then we have a bigger move, and we have to track with another chart pattern if we are going to get our direction into $1.85 to $1.92 for XRP. So what about Solana? We broke the bear flag to the downside, right here. We broke the 154 US dollar to the downside. Okay. This was the small support here, but the support got even more important over the day today. So basically, we have said 149 US dollar is going to be the target. We went there. I can take this one out. If we now get another push which takes out the lows from here, price mark 148 US dollar. If we just going to fill the fair value gap and start selling off, then we can even see prices down to 145 US dollar, where the target of the bear flag is. If we go into the 50 minutes chart, then you can already see that this here might also be just a triple bottom pattern. So if we break the 152 US dollar to the upside, here's the price mark, then we have a good chance getting back into the $154.50 for Solana. If we break that price mark to the upside, then I think it's positive, and we can get even up to 158 US dollar for Solana. So we have talked about the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is still the 145 US dollar. But if we lose the 145 US dollar afterwards, then we have the target still ongoing of 132 US dollar from the rising wedge in orange. We broke it to the downside, we retested it. So the target of 132 US dollar is still ongoing for Solana. And we won't invalidate it if we break the 154 US dollar to the upside. I want to see the $169 breaking to the upside, then this target would be gone. But so far we are so far away that I think the chances getting lower prices is high. We can just get in the short term over the next hours a push to the upside because we have fair value gaps. One here. The other one here, this one is even bigger. But from here, we can also sell off very quick. We have already seen it here. Within 30 minutes we got the sell off like this, which is already round about 3%. So if we just take the length from here to down here, and let's imagine we sell off now, then you can already see the length is the same. If we just get into the fair value gap and sell off the same way like we sold off from up here to down here within 1 hour, then you can see we can get afterwards within even an hour to 145 US dollars. So I would be careful with that. I would be careful with long positions at the moment. Once we break the 151 US dollar, 52 US dollar to the upside, then a short-term long position is possible. And once we break the 154 US dollar to the upside, then I would increase my position size into the 158 US dollar. So with that said, I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and we see each other in the next video where we talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. See you then.